Yo, we talking about groceries on FBA. Yo, easy. Yeah. J to the O, the Mayos. Groceries on FBA. What you know about that? Step your game up, suck it.
So welcome everybody. This is our bonus for Storefront Stalker Pro version. So if you signed up with us, Nate decided to join us for a little bit and maybe share some secrets that he might have to use Storefront Stalker a little better. We've been doing a ton of stuff and made a lot of money. All those searches that we've had to do ourselves and do research on our own, now we can just plug right into tactical arbitrage, or if you don't have that, or use OA X-ray or whatever you're doing for doing research. Makes it super simple for tactical arbitrage for us. So I did give you a list of the top 25 things we're using, a great spreadsheet, and these are some great searches, but any searches that you're normally doing, anything you're looking for, you can go, if you're not doing it already, you can go to Amazon, you can search for those products, and then you can download a list of the ASINs and you can really refine them. So, you might only want to look at possibly the people who aren't selling on Amazon, and find, not selling Prime, I mean, selling on Amazon, but merchant fulfilled, and it'd be easy to compete with those people and find sources to buy those products, or find the highest cost in some categories of shoes or toys or whatever you're interested in, and you can find all the best stuff, and that's what we've been doing, as well as all the other great integrations for that. And I also gave you guys, I don't know if everybody's, went over the content that you got from us, but we also have the top 500 stores on Amazon. So, you can go, and this is what this was originally designed for, is to look at other storefronts and be able to pull the products they're buying, and then hopefully be able to reverse engineer that and go see where they're buying that stuff. So we've got the top 500 stores, and this is the top 500 stores worldwide, not just US. So you may be able to source some of those items with tactical arbitrage in other platforms and sell them in the US, or if you're selling internationally or want to start selling internationally, you can look at those products that are selling in the UK and source them here. They may have to import them to another country where you can just buy them and ship them over. So you could really have a big competitive advantage. We only sell in North America, so I really haven't taken advantage of that. But with tactical arbitrage, it's really easy now. It's just changing the options in the pull down to go from US to the UK or any of the other countries that are supported. So there's a ton of options and a lot of things you can do with Storefront Stalker, and as well as the brand new integration that they're doing directly with tactical arbitrage. So if you're not using that, you basically just have to enter your order number, product code, or whatever Nate has designated that. So Nate, can you tell everybody a little bit about how that works directly with tactical arbitrage?
Yeah. So when you purchase Storefront Stalker Pro through Shawn's link or anybody's link, you'll enter in your order number, and that's going to be your login for tactical arbitrage. Now, some people, for some reason on Gumroad, don't have one. So if you don't have one, you can shoot me a PM. If you shoot Shawn a PM, he's probably, I told Shawn to just not reply and just send them to me, and I'll straighten them out, because some people don't have it, but it's absolutely worth sending me one PM if you can't figure it where it is. A lot of people were thinking it was the VAT number. That is not the same thing. The number you're looking for will be between 8 and 10 digits. It's all numbers. So if you can't find that, PM me. Again, my name is Nate McCallister. I'm on Facebook. I'm all over the place on Facebook. And yeah, so if you can't find me, you can PM Shawn, and he's just kind of forward it to me. But yeah, it's definitely worth integrating with. I mean, Alex really went out and made it just. I mean, it was pretty slick to begin with, but the fact that it integrated like that at no extra charge to the people that were already Storefront Stalker Pro users, I was beyond happy when I found out that we were going to be able to make that happen. So definitely worth it. Definitely saves time. I mean, Shawn, you guys have been using it a lot, right?
Oh yeah,
it's pretty sick. I mean, it's the Storefront Stalker Pro has a lot of things that you can't do from within it, so it still has its value on its own. But I tell people, if they ask me how would I use Storefront Stalker Pro, I always say tactical arbitrage. And then if not tactical arbitrage, the next one would be OA X-ray, but that's a far second place. And then for third, you could use a site like INDBL, I think it is, or Price Checker 2. But Price Checker 2 is like $50. Doesn't give you sources, and that's a month. Doesn't give you sources. Ace Inspector also has something that they do. It's like a done for you thing. You can upload ASINs. It's just really slow. But yeah, tactical arbitrage is the only tool that's directly integrated with it. Right now it's limited to just the best sellers, right? But you can still get the usage out of Storefront Stalker Pro with stuff like movers and shakers. You can't do that directly yet on TA, but you can do it on Amazon and then upload that into tactical arbitrage. So if you haven't already signed up for tactical arbitrage, use Shawn's link, get yourself in there. It's just like peanut butter and jelly when it comes to Storefront Stalker Pro. I mean, they complement each other incredibly well. I knew that from the beginning that it was going to be a good integration. I didn't know it was going to be a direct integration. So it all worked out really well. So definitely, if you haven't already, is everybody in here has already purchased it, Shawn?
Yes, this is the bonus for everybody who bought with my affiliate link.
Cool.
I guess some people from our mastermind too, but I would assume they all have it ready. So we'll go over how that works, but it basically will show you, you can go right to the best sellers, select the main category, and you can go 4 deep into the subcategories. If you're not already using it, we'll go through it and show you how, but we're using it constantly. And if you're using tactical arbitrage, you should be using all 3 of those options. Looking at it on flips, running your regular searches and doing reverse searches. And now that everything's all integrated together, we usually are running those 24 hours a day. I've shut down a couple of them because we're going to show you how we use them. But you should be spending your time sourcing, not wasting time, just looking for stuff to source. Now you have lists, we gave you some huge lists to start with, and then any other searches you're doing on Amazon, you can pull that data. And even if you don't have time for that, you can go directly into tactical arbitrage and download that information right there. You don't have to download, and then upload it again. It's built right in as long as you enter your user number in. And we use those all the time. We were already looking at, the same information, the best sellers, downloading that data, and then uploading it into tactical arbitrage. So now that it's integrated, we're saving 3 or 4 steps, as well as doing all the other stuff. But when you're using tactical arbitrage, you should, if you have an hour to source, you don't want to waste that hour looking for other, searches or products to be looking at. You should have that running 24 hours a day. And when you have that hour or 2 or however long you have for your sourcing time, you should be reviewing what it finds, not worrying about what to look for. And, tools like what Nate made and what you guys have all bought is going to let you do that. So I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to hop over to Storefront Stalker. I just want to show you, this is what you got for your bonus. You should have all of this. If you don't, you got this all in the same message. So go back and look at that zip file, get everything out of there. The top 25 most underrated searches, the top 500 sellers on Amazon, those were all in separate spreadsheets, which we'll go over. and the tactical arbitrage list to source from. If you like things like movers and shakers and things like that, we also have those. We've put them all into a list. You can just upload them right into the flips, and I think we sell them for about $20 a list. So it's really a great deal, and it'll go through everything and save you a ton of time. The webinar, which is where we're at right now, and then we'll make you a seller profile image that you can make. If anybody looks at your storefront, you can have it up there. Just send it to the same bonus page. As long as you bought with our affiliate link, you'll also get that. And we told you about it in the email. Only a couple people responded, so if you don't want it, that's fine. But if you do, you know, it's included in your bonus. So I'm going to switch over to tactical arbitrage now. This is a spot where you would put your key in. It's blank because I removed it so, you know, don't take mine. But once you find that, or you just send a message to Nate, he'll give it to you. You just fill it in that spot and everything will work automatically. And this is what it looks like. So if we go to the reverse product search, if you're not already running a reverse search, this is the page you want to go to. You have product search, you have Amazon flips, and you have reverse search. And you can run all three of these at the same time. As you know, you can't run more than one product search at a time, or if you don't, you do now. It doesn't matter, multiple windows, multiple computers. It runs on the server, so you can only do one at a time. This is for the flips, and we're going to be focusing on the reverse search. So this is the part that's integrated. All you have to do is have that number in. You don't even have to install the extension. You don't have to do any of that. And if you have any questions, just shoot them in the chat, and we'll get to them as we can. But this is going to be your best sellers option. I make this mistake all the time. I see lots of other people do. You need to click on this box for it to work, even if you select these options. If you don't click on that, it's going to run your last search. You can't delete your product search. So when you upload a new one, it just replaces this one, and it does that continuously. So you'll always have one up here. If you don't hit this button, then it's going to be doing the last search you uploaded. So I've done it a few times myself. So don't forget to do that. And then all you have to do is select. This is going to show you the best sellers for any category, and then 3 subcategories below that, if they're available. So we can look at anything we want. I'm going to just go to toys. Now the thing is, if you leave these at all, it's going to show you all. It's going to scan all the best sellers, but it's only going to do, I believe, Nate, like 9,600 products, right?
I think so. And also, this is where a lot of people get hung up, Shawn, as you know. They go too deep, and there's no output, and they think it's broken. So on your first try, don't go 3 levels deep, right? Just run like 2 and see what happens. Because I don't know if we can find an example of one that won't work, but if there's not enough ASINs, it won't show up.
I would say if you look in appliances and you go 4 deep, you're probably not going to find enough, because the thing is, this is the best sellers in the category. It's not showing you every product. It's only showing you, you know, what Amazon creates these bestseller pages, but they don't create them for every subcategory. So appliances is already a small subcategory. So, you know, we start looking at air conditioners, and then, you know, air conditioner accessories. And then on this, there's not even anything below that. So if we did this, it may not even have bestsellers, because there's just not a ton of stuff in there. But a good way to gauge it is you only get 400 pages on any search is what Amazon limits it to. So even if you look at something, if you look at everything in books that has like 60 million products now, you're still only going to go to page 400. And of course, Storefront Stalker you can't go beyond Amazon's limitations. It's pulling the data from their pages. So
if you can find out how, let me know, and I'll pay you big time. It's
right.
Sometimes it does. We haven't really gotten to find out why, but sometimes it will go beyond. Like on a storefront, you can only do 100, but sometimes we've got to go up as high as like 300. And
yeah, I've done that on the storefronts myself.
We can't find why.
Page 170 something I got one time.
It's awesome. I wish I could make that a feature.
So a good guess is if you do a search and it finds, you know, if it says it's on one of 9,600, that means you're doing the full 400 pages. So if you're only doing a main category or a subcategory and you're doing it like this and you see 9,600, you may want to go another subcategory and do each one of these, because at that point, you know, there's actually more stuff than it's showing to you. So then you want to split it up and find less. But when you do one and you see, you know, there's 180 products that come back, then, you know, you're not going to want to go to a subcategory. Or if you're somewhere and it's really small, then you probably just want to back it up one and go to another level. And the important thing is that you can do it like this. You can look at the best sellers in all of toys and games. You don't have to fill all of these in. But like I said, you can break it down more and you can go less. And you know, these are some of the reasons why you would want to.
Yeah, if you go really broad, like if you just do toys and games, I mean, just make tighter filters. You know, it's a balancing act. So if you want to do, you know, if you want to go really tight and go 2 levels, 3 levels down, just, you know, broaden your filters and see what comes up. But yeah, so I mean, the possibilities here are just sick. I mean, they're just really endless. And this is just best sellers, everybody. So remember, when you since you all have Storefront Stalker Pro, don't think that this is what it's limited to. This is just a way to make it faster and better. But you can still do stuff like download your daily deals, your movers and shakers. You can go into a brand, go filter the brand by price. You can filter the brand by review. You can filter the brand by all different types of stuff, right? And you can do that by category and just get really laser specific. Upload that into TA, and just, you could, the creative people who get creative with Storefront Stalker and tactical arbitrage are the ones that are the people that you don't really hear from, because they're the ones that are making money. The people that you usually hear from are people that aren't making very much and they can't figure it out. But it's definitely has a lot of room for potential. There's just so many parameters that you can control. The creative people end up making a lot of money on this. And Pam, I will email you. I will email you your key, Pam Stouffer.
Yeah, Pam. I made a video specifically showing how to do your key and enter it in and do this little section here. We're not talking about all the stuff, you know, we are now, just showing people how to set it up. And then you're going to set up your filters how you normally would. Everyone, I think, knows I go pretty broad, and then we narrow them down ourselves. So I'm just removing things under over 100,000 and you know, under 50% ROI, showing things that Amazon's out of stock on. And it's going to be the same as any other search you do with tactical arbitrage. And once it starts pulling a few in, yeah. So see, we only went 2 levels down, and it's only going to find 199 products, maybe a few less. So I'm only looking at toys and games and then action figures, but it's only finding, you know, 200 products to look at. So this is a good example of why, you know, you don't want to go too deep. And toys is, you know, a very good category to be searching in. It's not very small, and, you know, there's just a ton of stuff in there. So I'm talking about this because this is the newest feature, and I know a lot of people just don't know anything about it, but this is not really what Storefront Stalker Pro is fundamentally about, and that's you know, and that's going to look at search links, and we've provided you these 25 that we look at. We look at a lot. You know, a lot of store brands here, a lot of things people don't think about. You know, Walgreens exclusives. You know, Target exclusives, Walmart exclusives. You know, there's a ton of toys and other products that these stores have exclusives, and these stores, while you probably have a ton of them around you, everybody doesn't. And there's a lot of people buying internationally, people in the military, you know, people in, you know, on bases in Alaska, and you know, there's just a ton of reasons. Same reasons why people buy on Amazon is the same reasons that these stores, they may just not have near them. So you know, we really look. We look a lot at, and you can see from this list, you know, we're looking at a lot of store exclusives, but, you know, any products you're already buying, you can take those searches and do it in reverse. So I just pulled the Funko, I opened the Funko one up on Amazon, and I've already narrowed this, I've already narrowed this down, you know, quite a bit. So we're actually looking at, you know, about 10,695 products. So it's going to pull the whole thing, and it's going to max out at page 400 because that's right at about 9,600 items is going to be your 400 pages. But you know, what we do and what I would suggest is you pay really close attention to the stuff on the left-hand side. So you know, if you can select a certain price range. One of the things that we do is include out-of-stock items, because now it went from 10,000 to 14,000 items, and those are all products that are sold out. So Amazon removes them from the page because you know, they don't want to be showing their customers items that are not available to sell. But, you know, these are products that we want to look at because we're going to do a reverse search, and we're going to hopefully find stores that we can buy some of those products. And, you know, if we're looking at Funko, you may want to select Funko for the brand or whatever brand, and get rid of some of this other stuff. But, you know, as you know, a lot of people aren't very good at creating listings. So, you know, a lot of the stuff that they put in as a brand may not actually be a good, you know, a good description of the brand. You know, some of these are probably still Funko, and they just put pop vinyl for the brand when it's still a Funko, you know, or Star Wars or Suicide Squad. All those items are, you know, are probably still made by Funko, and they put the wrong information in. Sorting by a price range. As well as down here, you may not want to look at, you know, items that have 1-star reviews, because you probably have a high rate of returns, or even 2-star reviews. So you can just look at the products that have 3 stars for the average customer review and up, and you know, it'll remove all those, so you won't even be looking for those items. It's going to go faster, and you know, you'll have a whole lot less problems. You know, so there's a ton of ways to narrow this stuff down. You know, you're at 14,000. I probably wouldn't look at just the Prime stuff, because if we're going to be looking at out-of-stock items, then we don't want to look at Prime. But, you know, I see a lot of cheaper Funkos here as well that are, you know, selling for, you know, $9, $8, you know, $7. So you may want to put in a price range. You know, obviously you're not going to be able to buy something for a pop for $2 and sell them, you know, for $8 to $10. So, you know, we might want to put $15 as the minimum, and we're going to narrow it down to 7,676 products, which means now you'll be able to actually do a reverse search on every product on this page. So then all we have to do is, I believe it's grayed out one, just click on Storefront Stalker Pro. And you're going to click on all ASINs from this seller or page, and it's going to download them what I would call relatively quick. And I have you can run this on as many tabs as you want. You know, I've run this on like 10 or 15 different tabs at one time, and it goes just as fast. I don't know if, you know, it's something that Nate likes to do, but, you know, it's literally every page is pulling down like 24 items at a time. So when you think about how fast that is, you know, it's really amazing, in my opinion. Okay, Darlene, well, this is loading. Darlene said she's not understanding the Storefront Stalker TA integration. I do understand how to use it as a standalone. Well, while this is loading, we can just hop back over here to, let me close this tab. All right, so Darlene, you need to enter your product code, which you can get from Nate if you just send him a private message if you don't already have it. And you just enter it in the settings as we went over earlier. And then you just select scan bestsellers, and it's going to show you the bestsellers for whatever category you select. So you get a pull down for level 1, and we went to toys and games, and then under that, action figures and statues, but you can select whatever you want, and you can, you know, keep going down further and further. And then instead of having to go to that page, search for the best sellers, and then search for categories and subcategories, it's going to do it right through tactical arbitrage. You won't have to go search for it on Amazon, click the button, download it, and then upload it again. It's right in tactical arbitrage, so there's no extra steps anymore. Okay, so this is downloaded. We're going to save it in TA tactical arbitrage format, and if you don't select the format, it'll just save it automatically as ASINs. So we're just going to click on Save. And I'm going to go ahead and upload, or I'm going to open this file up so we can just look at it. And this is what you get. This is already fitting the template that Alex Moss has made for tactical arbitrage for doing a reverse search. So all of your data is going to already be in here in the correct format. You won't have to really do anything. And you don't have to, you really don't even have to open this file. So once you save it, we're going to be able to upload it directly into tactical arbitrage. And we'll go over here. I'm going to see where we are. Okay, so this scan is already done. It was a pretty small one. I'm going to turn this off. We're going to turn this off for a second. I'm going to upload new file. Not exactly sure where this downloads to. That puts that right in the way. Okay, so what we did was click on upload new file. We select the file and hit upload. As you can see, if you make your own, there's a limit of 10,000, but Storefront Stalker is really never going to go over that because you know, the limitation that Amazon has placed on their pages. So once we upload it, just like every other bulk file, you have to, if it's not in the right format, it won't upload. So if you see your file name here with an underscore and a random number after it, .csv, that means that it uploaded correctly. And we're going to have to unselect this, make sure this isn't, because this will override whatever bulk file you uploaded. So if it's unselected, it runs the bulk file. If it's selected, it's going to run whatever you have over here. And then just hit submit. Entertainment Earth. Okay, so we uploaded it correctly, and we selected our filters, and now we can see it's running about 7,000 file that's going to do a reverse search on everything we uploaded, and we can see it's finding products. This didn't match our rank filter, so it was over 100,000. And it's only just like when you search a store, it's going to search whatever platform that you have tactical arbitrage set to. So if you're running in the US system, it's going to search the 300 plus stores. And if you're running in on the UK platform, then it'll search all the UK stores or whatever country you have set up. So when you enter, when you're running it from the US, like most of you are, then it's going to search all those stores that you can select as a search, but it's going to do it backwards. It's going to pull that UPC, it's going to check all those stores, and it's going to bring them in if it matches your filters. And it will check multiple ones. So if it finds 10 stores and they match the profile, if it's still in the ROI and meets your rank and other filters, then it's going to bring in multiple ones. There could be, 5 or 10 or more on your results page. So I'm not sure if it found any results from our 2 searches, but we can definitely take a look. So it's definitely finding some pops, and I would assume, I'm pretty sure these are the ones that we just found as well. So, it's already finding results from our most recent search. Looks like this one is selling for $38, and this is a glitch on tactical arbitrage. I told Alex about this, but he doesn't seem to get these, but this has no rank. So this is not a good match. But this one gets 60% ROI. It's $10.99 at Entertainment Earth, which is actually their full price. They are a wholesaler and they sell retail on their store. So if you open a wholesale account, you can probably get them a lot cheaper than the $10.99 price, usually about half. So after fees, it's about 18 bucks, and you're making a 60% ROI. And I'm sure Funkos are very popular. I'm sure this is going to find a ton more. And I would assume all of these toys as well was from the other bestseller search we did. So as you can see, it's it's a very simple process using Storefront Stalker to download and then upload into tactical arbitrage or whatever else you're using. See, they just keep popping up, but I think where a little bit of strategy comes into place is when you, and I'm going to close this one out.
Hey, Shawn, I got to run.
That's fine.
If anybody has any questions, shoot me a PM on Facebook. And Pam, I got you straightened away. Yeah, if anybody else needs help, just shoot me a PM. Or if you PM Shawn, he'll just PM me. So you guys have a good evening, and thank you for buying and using Storefront Stalker Pro.
All right. Thanks for dropping in, Nate.
Yeah, talk to you later.
All right. So, I think a lot of strategy comes into place, just like sourcing, where to look. You can go onto, you can go to Walmart and search there all day. Okay, Marlon, I don't exactly understand your question. What do you use? What do you do to save the results from the previous search so you only see the current results? In other words, clear out the old stuff. So if I understand you correctly, we rerun those scans from scratch. And okay, well, if you don't, okay, I see. And if we go back over here, I believe he's asking, how do we not see this other stuff here? and that's pretty easy to do. If it's a mismatch, you mark it as a mismatch. You can hit the X, and it's going to remove. It'll remove that from your display screen. You can also hit Select All, and it'll select everything on the page, and you can then delete them or mark them as mismatch or save them to the save page. There's also a saved page for the reverse, just like the regular product scan. And we can also click on this button here. So if you go back to your search page, you can click on Delete Old Data. And just clear these. If you click on Delete Old Data, it's going to delete everything on your product view page or your results page. This is a scan that I ran a little earlier today, so we haven't gone through those, but as we do, it's going to, we'll either move them or download them or, delete them. So, the stuff doesn't stay there forever. You can delete them however and whenever you want. I'm going to deselect all. And it basically works the same way for, the product scans or the flips or, anything you want to do. So, I would say you can keep loading more and more in here. It's not something that's going to really matter. You can, I know some people want to keep it clean, but, you should work your way through these lists. And as I said before, when you have, only a couple hours to work on this, you should be running scans 24 hours a day. And as you can see, we're running a scan right now, and we're looking at the results. So you don't have to run a scan and, like other software, wait till it's done, download the results. These are put in here live in real time, and you can look at all the information and be working on it as they come in. So you run it 24 hours a day, and then when you have an hour or two, you should look at, your full pages of results, your hundreds of results that you have, and work your way through them while it's scanning, and have your tactical arbitrage running and scanning, 24 hours a day. We upload bulk lists all the time. We're running reverse searches, we're running Amazon flips, we're running product searches, and we run huge product searches. We go to the maximum all the time. We're running a scan on Toys R Us right now, and as you can see here, we run 400 lines at a time because that's the limit. And when one is done, we get a notification, and we go in there and we start another scan. And if it's another store, it doesn't matter, because you're gonna, even when you're doing a product search, you're gonna be able to see what store that's from. The same as when we're using the reverse search, it shows you all the stores that it happened, that it was at. And we can also sort by domain. So it's doing a reverse search, but when we're seeing these results, we can be pulling in, the stores that they're coming from, and sort by those stores. So we can look at all the Barnes & Noble together, all the Entertainment Earths together, Pharmafleet, or whatever stores it's finding the products at. Do I put saved items in folders like toys, groceries, health? We don't, but I mean, you can. I don't really differentiate one from the other. Sometimes we're making lists with these and selling the leads. A lot of them we're using for ourselves, and so I don't just use tactical arbitrage. We also use OA X-ray for some other things that tactical arbitrage don't do. Things like, clearance areas, when, instead of searching the whole category, we can do a lot more tighter searches, and some stores, it's just not compatible. So We use OA X-ray. I have a whole team. I have about a dozen foreign VAs that do regular manual product searching, looking one at a time, old school style. And, so we have information coming in from a lot of different places. So, we download, what we do is we check the results. So, if I have a spreadsheet from a VA, they put, the titles and they put, the ASINs and the links, but I don't see the pictures in my spreadsheet. So it's a lot easier to compare here or on my, even on a product result page, which I'm going to bring up right now if it loads. Okay, well, I'll just do it from here till that loads. So we can see the pictures, and this is one of the great things about tactical arbitrage. You can see this all on this page. So we compare from here to here. We can see that the image is exactly the same without having to open this link and open this link. And then, and it's even easier here. We can see that, well, this actually does match. One's in the package and one's not. But, it's easy to see when products don't match. So, these are both, well, one's a Schwinn, one's a Huffy. They obviously have the same UPC, so that's why they're matching. We can click on mismatch here, or if it's just something we're not interested in, you can hit on the X and get rid of those products and just move on. Where, if a VA gives us the wrong information, it takes more time. We have to load those separately. So, we may be doing things differently from how you do it. But if you want to keep those products in, in a folder, then that may be a lot better for your business. Well, we don't do that. But I don't see any reason to keep toys and grocery and things like that in separate folders, because it's not going to, I don't see how that would help, my business having, things organized in that fashion. Now with the reverse, and I believe we can just click here and download them. So when you're ready to download them, you can download them in the spreadsheet, or you can buy them right from here. I actually don't know if I have anything in my save folder, but there's only one. Once you get it into the save folder, then you can make multiple folders. So one of the good things here, instead of downloading it, is you can put your once you find products, and you can do this when you're doing a regular search and with the reverse search as well. You have the folders, you can update the pricing. So you can just click on this button, update all data, and it's going to pull your data out, from Amazon, from the sources again. But, what a lot of people want to do, and what I really want to warn you against doing, is when you get your products here, a lot of people will, they run a search, they pull the data, and then they don't ever want to do that search again, which is, a really bad idea, because inherently the way Amazon works, you're just going to get less and less data over time. So if you scan, let's say 1,000 items, and you find 100 of them, and now you save them in here, and once a week you update all the data, anything that wasn't worth buying the first time has been filtered out. So now you're down to 100 products, and every week, if 10% of those are no longer any good, you're going to remove them when you update the data. You're going to get rid of those because they're not worth buying, and your list is just going to get smaller and smaller because there's no way to put the stuff back in that wasn't worthwhile. But just as much stuff that becomes not worthwhile is going to become worth buying that you filtered out to begin with. So, what we do is, we find the best. You should be not worried about small, single products, but always look at the big picture with Amazon. Whether it's, your whole idea of sourcing or where to source, look at a type of sourcing. If you want to, look at online sourcing based on, against retail arbitrage, don't, think about sourcing at Walmart versus Target. You should look at the whole picture. And the same goes if, if you're at a store, you want to look at, a whole category to be sourcing in, and not, confine yourself to one small thing. And the same goes with filtering. Rerun those whole sections of scanning. Scan the whole grocery section so you get full coverage and pull those products. And when you're ready to do it again, run that scan again on that whole area. And what we've done, of course, we've made these sourcing lists. We've given you a lot of them to start with that we sell for quite a bit of money. And, as you're ready to expand, I hope, you'll use our list, because you'll find they're a huge time saver. We put a lot of time and money into building those lists. And if you try and, Dick's Sporting Goods, for example, has almost 10,000 categories in it. How long would it take you to put that together, as opposed to spending $20 on a list? So, always look at the big picture, not only buying from me, but, to spend a little money to save, dozens or hundreds of hours. Obviously that's going to be, in your best interest. And then once you have that, we segment our list down. We don't run that list that we sell to you. We run, a whole section, because shoes is going to be, have a whole different set of criteria than grocery. In shoes, we may not want a 100,000 ranked item, but in grocery, I'm often happy buying a 100,000 ranked item, because I know I'm going to sell a few of those a month. But a 100,000 ranked shoe, may take 6 months to sell, even though there's a lot more sales volume there. But the sales volume is in the lower ranked items. Is there any questions? Because we're definitely winding our hour down. So if there's any questions, I want to cover everybody. Okay. If not, I'm going to want to talk about, I want to go back to this list with my 25 searches. And this is something that people really skip over, and I really want to focus on, looking at the things that I searched. And, I tried not to, just, I could come up with 25 searches relatively quickly of just the, in a small niche, in makeup, for example. But I tried to, spread this out so you had a good idea of where to start. So don't make this, the end of your list. Make this, the beginning of where to start at. So, we're looking at name brands. I'm looking at Walgreens, but Walgreens, Target exclusives. You want to look for store exclusives. Brands like Ozark Trail is a Walmart, exclusive brand. But if we look on Amazon, there's a ton of those products, and every listing here has thousands or tens of thousands. Toy multi-packs, beauty multi-pack, discontinued items. This is actually a pretty popular title and descriptor on Amazon that nobody looks at, as well as your different holidays. Halloween was coming up, so I put that in there. But grocery in Halloween, which is not, these aren't actually the search, this isn't the search words, this is more a description of what we search for. And a lot of these, we narrowed them down for you to get the best results. Limited release, limited edition toys, board games. There are a ton of board games. There may even be, millions of them on Amazon. So what we usually do is look at the highest price first, and obviously, you know, a lot of these aren't selling for this. You know, $218,000 for this one. This one, which has a buy box, which is pretty weird when this one doesn't have, actually has the buy box suppressed. So you can see a lot of these maybe rare older ones, but you know, when we're going to go through the top 10,000 most expensive ones, we're going to find a lot of good good products that are still available in stores. So you know, and you could even narrow this down a little better, things that may only have Amazon as a seller but are high priced items. But of course, you know, a lot of these are going to be third party selling items, you know, and I wouldn't necessarily worry about the ones that are over 1,000, but I mean, we found tons and tons of board games, you know, from wholesale. You know, we do wholesale some boards and board games and gaming stuff. There's just a ton of you know, there's a ton of like collectible board games now that are pretty higher end, and the stuff on this first page or the first few pages, obviously we're not going to find. They're not, I could almost say almost none of this stuff, excuse me, is selling for these prices. You know, but when you get into, you know, the $200 and $300 and down, you know, we do find a lot of results, and the stuff sells out and it comes back in stock. You know, so these pages do actually change quite a bit in board games. So John, okay, John, so are you going to these pages and using Storefront Stalker Pro to search for the ASINs and then doing a reverse search with TA, meaning using the list you had up? Yes, actually, our list has many. The list that we use has hundreds and hundreds, maybe 500-600 different searches that we regularly do, that we were even using before Storefront Stalker is out. So yeah, this is a starting point that you guys should be using, and then, oops, sorry. And then we would go here, and you know, right now there's 44,000 results for board games, and these are all available on Prime. You know, so what we would do is we're going to narrow this. We're going to start to narrow this down so we can get, you know, closer to that 9,600 number, so we're not missing anything. You know, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to probably narrow this down to, as I was just saying, to under $300, which is not taking very much out of here. I see. We're also going to exclude add-on items because we don't want any of that cheap stuff. And we're going to look, we're also going to remove any items, let's say under $15, because we're just not going to be able to buy the items to resell them at that point. And now, you know, we've knocked out about 15,000 items here. And we're still at about 28,000. You know, there's just a huge category. So, you know, some other things that we can do is, you know, again, I don't want to narrow this down to just Amazon as a competition, because very few of those you're going to find. You're going to be able to find that you actually can compete with Amazon on. There will be some, but definitely not, you know, not the great majority. And again, you know, if we narrow the stars down, you know, knock out the 1 stars and 2 stars, we're going to be able to, you know, if you don't want to sell those, probably a very high rate of return, it's going to knock us down to probably the 15,000, the 15,000 mark. So now, you know, we're pretty close to where we want to be. And as I said, we sorted this by high to low price. So it's going to find the first 10,000 higher priced items here that are under $300 now. And again, you can just hit the button and download all the ASINs from here. And like we showed you before, you can upload them into Tactical Arbitrage again. So I hope that answers the question. Yes, those are all a starting point to look at, but any other searches, anything else you can think of, you have the spreadsheet now. So I would just keep adding to this, any searches you find. Now that you've narrowed this search down, you can copy this link and you can paste this into here as your modified, whatever search. And any other searches you do on Amazon, I would continue to save these in the spreadsheet. It's on your computer. Nobody else is going to see it unless you send it to them. And just continue to add to it and save it, and you'll have a good list to keep going back to. And as you modify these, I would just go through here and replace the searches. So if you do a modified board game search, just paste that right from the Amazon search into here, and now it's going to be your modified search instead of our starting point. And this is just one small portion of tactical arbitrage that you can be doing to find more products. Do the searches from the store end, but also do the searches from the from the Amazon side. Do reverse searches using Storefront Stalker, and I assume everybody has it, so I'm not really trying to obviously sell it to anybody, but with that, we are out of time. So you have any more questions? If you don't have your code into the settings, or if you don't know it, send Nate McCallister a PM on Facebook. He'll get it right to you. And any other questions, just send me a message. If you also bought Tactical Arbitrage with my link, or in our mastermind group, I'll see you tomorrow at 8 p.m. and I'll be showing you how to set up Tactical Arbitrage and all the stuff we do using that. And that's it. Okay, good night.